everybody, this is Patrick Wrestling Entertainment here with my podcast retrospective review of Wrestlemania 1. Yes. So, first off, when I started this channel, I wanted to do videos like this, and I didn't know which pay-per-view to start with. There's a bunch of pay-per-views out there. There's, a lot of WWE pay-per-views. It goes from Wrestlemania to the new TLC 2015, which is coming out in a few days. And so, I didn't know where to start. Where do you start when you review a pay-per-view? So I just start at the beginning. WrestleMania 1, the first ever WrestleMania, and, well, was it good? Halfway good, halfway good, bad. There were some matches there was one match I felt on here that went on too long. Most of the matches, except for the main event and two other matches, they were mainly 4 to 6 minutes long, which was fine. It was WrestleMania, but there was one match on here which went on for 11 minutes and 44 seconds, and that was a tag team. No, that wasn't a tag team match. It was a singles match, and it just felt like it went on too long, and it shouldn't have been 11 minutes and 44 seconds. There was another match on here that should have been 11 minutes 44 seconds because it was actually a really good match. So let's go through WrestleMania 1 and see how good it is. Okay, so let's start off. First off, when you watch this on the WWE Network, or you just find this somewhere and you watch it, you'll find that the announcer, Lord Alfred Hayes, he always bumbles through his lines. He's telling when the matches are gonna be. Oh, we're gonna watch these promos. He's like, let us. He bumbles through his lines a lot, and I don't know if he was just nervous or anything, but he probably was nervous. So, I'm kind of bumbling through my lines right now. I've never done something like this. So, if you hear me bumbling a bit during this, excuse that, because it's my first time ever doing this. So, yeah, here we go. Before every match, they showed a promo of what the match would be like. Well, not really much of a promo. They showed interviews of each superstar. Like, if it was a singles match, they'd show Howard Finkel. Not Howard Finkel. Freaking, I'm getting names mixed up. Mean Gene Okerlund. Jeez. Mean Gene Okerlund giving interviews to each superstar. So, yeah, and just to give you the thoughts about the match and all that stuff. So, yeah, we start with the first match. Tito Santana versus the Executioner. Tito Santana was a really good superstar, and he was great for this matchup. But the Executioner was Playboy Buddy Rose. And it feels like, since they were kind of already having a rivalry, why don't we just do that match instead of going against the Executioner? Tito Santana beat the Executioner by doing a figure 4 leg lock in which he tapped out. The match was 4 minutes and 50 seconds. It was just kind of dull, really. It was just kind of dull. It should have been Tito Santana versus Playboy Buddy Rose, but who knows? I mean, kind of a okay match, but you just, whatever. Then we have King Kong Bundy versus Special Delivery Jones. King Kong Bundy was with Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South, the manager. Awesomeness. It was 24 seconds. Yes, King Kong Bundy, right when the match started, he just squashed the Special Delivery Jones. They say, if you watch the pay-per-view, they say it was 8 seconds long. It was actually about 24 seconds long. Apparently, I don't know, got it mixed up or something. But yeah, it was 24 seconds long. The match was just goes back and forth. I mean, you would think it'd be good because, Special Delivery Jones' interview, he was, pumped up for this matchup, and he seemed like a big guy who would be able to take King Kong Bundy. King Kong Bundy was this big guy, bald head, looked like a big giant egg, pretty much. And so, yeah, he just squashed him, and it was supposed to make King Kong Bundy dominant since he is going to be in the main event of WrestleMania 2, which is what he was in. So I guess to make him dominant and to make him a star until he gets ready for the main event next year. Something like that. He was with Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart actually shows up. How many times does he show up on this? He shows up twice on the card. 2 matches. He'll show up and he'll be at ringside. So yeah, King Kong Bundy, Special Delivery Jones. Not really much to say about this match. I mean, it was only 24 seconds. So yeah, it was only 24 seconds, and so yeah. Sorry about this. So let's see. Okay. We have next match. We have Ricky Steamboat. Yeah. Ricky Steamboat defeated Matt Bourne. Yeah, Ricky Steamboat versus Matt Bourne. He beat Matt Bourne. Matt Bourne is a jobber. He was a jobber, and Ricky Steamboat's one of the best superstars of all time. Wrestlers of all time. I shouldn't say superstars. I'm not one of the PG guys. Yeah, I watched wrestling when it was TV 14. I do miss those days, but I could talk about that all day. So you had Ricky Steamboat versus Matt Bourne. Just plain kind of ish. I mean, Matt Borne did get some dominance a little bit, but it was mainly Ricky Steamboat. I mean, that everyone cared about because everyone likes Ricky Steamboat. And he would go on to have a great match at WrestleMania 3, which we will talk about eventually. Eventually, you never know. Had to talk about WrestleMania 3. Why would I not talk about WrestleMania 3? It's a wrestling channel, and how do you not talk about WrestleMania 3? It's one of the best. That's considered one of the best WrestleManias of all time. Why would I not talk about WrestleMania 3? I'm an idiot. Then you have, that, Ricky Steamboat won, of course. It was 4 minutes, 38 seconds. Yeah, a lot of matches were between 4 minutes and 4 to 6 minutes. So, yeah, Ricky Steamboat won. Good, it was an okay match. It was kind of back and forth, okay. Just nothing really special, not a memorable match. Nobody's going to remember it. So we have, next match, we have David Sammartino versus Brutus Beefcake. Brutus Sammartino was at ringside for David Sammartino, and Johnny Valiant was at ringside with Brutus Beefcake. This was a match. This was the match. I told you that match was 4 to 6 minutes long, and except for the main event, the King Kong Bundy squash match, and this match were not in that time. This match was 11 minutes and 44 seconds, and the match was just. It didn't seem like it should have gone on that long. The match ended up being a double disqualification with both managers getting in the way, attacking because they got involved. Because, managers get involved in wrestling and stuff. But I just feel like it shouldn't have gone on long. It kind of, if it would have been like a 6-minute match, I would have been okay with it. But 11 minutes, 46 seconds, like this match, they could have traded this out with a different match. I don't know, I'll get to that match in a minute, which one it should have traded out with. But they could have gone to a different match. I mean, this one But then again, the Andre the Giant match we're going to talk about in a minute, probably, I think, if I were going to trade out between which match deserved 11 minutes 44 seconds, it'd be David Sammartino versus Brutus Beefcake. Oh, Dave, yeah. Okay. Bruno Sammartino was at ringside. If you're watching this video and you're a wrestling fan and you don't know who Brutus Sammartino is, I can't. I'm gonna walk. I just shot my pen. I would walk away if you don't know who Bruno Sammartino is. So yeah, I'm not even gonna. So yeah. Then we have, after that match, this a double disqualification match, we finally get a title match. There are only 3 title matches on the card: Intercontinental Championship match, Tag Team Championship match, and Intercontinental Championship Tag Team, and Women's Championship. And only 2 titles changed hands. This title match, the title did not change hands. It was the Junkyard Dog versus Greg Valentine with Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart was in Greg Valentine's corner. It was good. You see managers sometimes like twice on the show because they're supporting 2 superstars, but it's cool to see him again. He was entertaining in the King Kong Bundy match, and he was entertaining in this match as well. It was good to see him at ringside and all that stuff. Was the match good? It was pretty good actually. I liked it. Apparently, Junkyard Dog won. What is he thinking? He won the match. It was kind of like... So what happened... How do I explain this? Okay. Greg Valentine put his feet on the ropes when he went for the pin. When he did 1, 2, 3. But then the Junkyard Dog told the ref that he put his feet on the ropes. You're not supposed to put your feet on the ropes. And they restarted the match. And it was a count out. He stayed at... He counted... Because he was outside of the ring trying to leave. And the ref was counting like 1, 2. And I'm like... Oh. And then he counts out to 10. When he's counting down, he'll notice that what the ref just did. And he's like, should I get back in the ring? Should I not get back in the ring? What should I do? He doesn't get back in the ring, and Junkyard Dog wins the match by count out. But if it's count out or disqualification, you do not win the title, and therefore Junkyard Dog not win the title. I mean, if you're upset that Junkyard Dog didn't win the title, I mean, he did go on to win the Wrestling Classic, the next pay-per-view, but. So I guess that was a good accomplishment for him to win one of the first major tournament in the WWF, which was WWF at the time. Gosh, should I do it? If you don't know why it's WWE instead of WWF now, should I do an explanation video? If you don't know that already, I probably should do that. And it's so stupid, by the way, the whole why it's not called WWF anymore. Freaking company. Let's see, next matchup. Now the next matchup was also a tag team match, and this is one of my favorite matches on the card. We had Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik versus the U.S. Express. And they were ringside, but someone was at ringside. It was a good match. I mean, it was a good match. I'm glad Nikolai Volkov and Iron Sheik won. Now and then, everyone hated them. But, when you watch the match, if you're watching WrestleMania 1, without going back and watching all the other storylines, if you just look and you based it off... Watch WrestleMania, the first one, as a now WWE standard. you'll know that, okay, there's WWE standard nowadays is like there's one guy, and you can tell like which one's gonna win by how they look and stuff like that, and kind of like by their stats. I mean, I think WWE's trying to make more realistic by that or something, but who knows? I don't know if they're trying to be more realistic or just something else. I mean, we are in the reality era after all. So yeah, good match, very good match. I mean, I'm glad they won the titles. Just because I'm just basing it off a WWE standpoint. I mean, this is WWF. Everyone hated them. Nobody wanted them to win the titles. And actually, later in the year, they did lose the titles back to the U.S. Express. So I guess that's that. And this is this. This is this. So yeah, they won the titles. I mean, they lost them later, and then the U.S. Express lost them to Brutus Beefcake and whoever the other guy was. I forgot. I did a lot of research, and I did watch the pay-per-view. I did watch the pay-per-view over this past week. And I've already seen the pay-per-view lots of times. Like, I bought it on... I didn't buy it on Netflix. Like, I got it from Netflix. Because, like, Netflix had like, the whole collection of all WrestleManias. And I got the first one. Wanted to see how good it was. And it was decent. I mean, I've seen it a lot of times. And yeah. So, yeah. They won the tag titles. And, yeah. That's pretty much it. It was 6 minutes and 56 seconds. And this one really should have been 11 minutes 44 seconds. I mean, if I would have traded up times, that'd be 11 minutes 44 seconds. I just didn't really like the David San Martino Brutus Beefcake match for some reason. I don't know why. Then we had Andre the Giant versus Big John Studd Body Slam Challenge for $1,500. If Andre the Giant lost, he would have to retire. So basically, this match was so boring. It was 5 minutes 54 seconds, and it was really boring. Bobby Heenan was in Big John Studd's corner, manager. It's just really boring. They just stumbled around the ring for most of the matchup, and I really, at one point, I'm just like, oh my god, Andre, just do the body slam already and get this over with. Because that's how he had to win. He had to do the body slam, it was over. I'm like, oh my god, freaking, just do the body slam already. And then when he finally does the body slam, I'm like, yes! Oh, this match is over. Thank gosh. And then he grabs the money, he's like, because like Big John Studd came with a bag full of money, $1,500. And I was so glad the match was over, and he took the money with him, and there was a bunch of other stuff that happened. And Andre the Giant, I don't have anything against Andre the Giant. He couldn't wrestle. Of course, he couldn't wrestle. He couldn't wrestle very well, I guess you could say. I mean, he had a disease. Well, I don't know if it was like a disease. It was something like a disease where he was like really big and stuff, and he like his legs were like messed up. But I mean, you gotta thank him for all the good things he did. He liked the company, and yeah, he was good. Really, really good person. And so yeah, I'm glad he won, of course. But, and this is if you go watch WrestleMania 3, it's Hogan versus Andre in the main event, and main event is not that long, of course, but we'll get to that maybe when we get to our review. And it's just, I like this one because Hogan and Andre are both good guys, or faces, as I should call them. I'm not going to call PG. I'm not in the PG era. Oh my gosh. I keep dropping things. So I like how they're both good guys in this, and you can like both Andre and Hogan, and I like that. I like that about this. Then we had the women's championship matchup: Wendy Richter with Cyndi Lauper versus, I can't even pronounce her name, Liana Kai, I'm not sure, like that, with Fabulous Moolah, one of the best women wrestlers of all time. I'm not gonna call them divas because they're not divas. I mean, they're not divas. I hate WWE now. They're calling them divas, and they have the Divas Championship, which is the worst looking belt of all time. The women's championship belt is great. They need to bring that back. But anyways, Wendy Richter was with Cyndi Lauper, who was a celebrity. If you did not know that, celebrity, and everyone everyone didn't like how there was like celebrity involvement and stuff in this. But really, go watch WrestleMania 11. My gosh, celebrity involvement in that thing. I can't even. Bam Bam Bigelow faced Lawrence Taylor in the main event, and how can you go good with that? I mean, really, this is WrestleMania. Did they forget what wrestling was? Bam Bam Bigelow and Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor of all people. Freaking jeez. Yeah. So yeah, Wendy Richter won the match and won the title. 6 minutes to 1 minute, 6 minutes and 12 seconds, and it was a pretty good match. It was the second to last match before the main event, and decent match. Glad she won the title. Nowadays nobody really cares that much about women's wrestling. Really, only everyone like Sasha Banks and stuff like that. And Sasha Banks is awesome. I like Sasha Banks too, but just the Divas matches have been considered toilet break matches, and this one probably, if this match would have happened at WrestleMania 32, which is next year, with the same people and the same age, it would probably be a toilet break match. Just saying. Because I don't know, just nobody really liked the Divas matches that much. If you like Divas matches, great, but I don't know. It would be a toilet break match today if he was at a WrestleMania match. And this is actually, I like what WWF did, putting the women's match before the main event, because the women's have one title to fight for. There was a point in 2008, 2009 where they did the women's and Divas title, which then they brought to the Divas title. They really should have kept the women's title, just saying. And so yeah, they only have one title to fight for, so putting them before the main event, they're never gonna. I don't think Divas will ever be in the main event. If less women's wrestling got really, really popular, if it got really popular, then what WWE needs, if they ever want a Divas in match in the main event, which will never happen. Just saying, if Vince McMahon is hired, that'll never happen, because he doesn't really like Divas. Divas wrestling and Vince McMahon don't really go together very well. They need a good Divas roster, of course. I keep saying Divas. They need a good women's roster, and like a really large roster, because now, how many people they have? They have Sasha Banks, Tamina Snuka, Naomi, and NXT has a great women's roster great women's roster, and they were just to bring all them to the main roster, and then we could have a good Divas roster. But there's no way a Diva will be in the main event. It'll be before the main event, but never in the main event. So yeah, putting the women's match before the main event is good, because that's the only title they have to fight for, and it makes it more important for the Divas. Women's. I don't want to say Divas, because that's just me. Okay, so yeah, women's. I'm gonna have to start saying women's now. And then we have the main event. We had Hulk Hogan and Mr. T versus Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff, something like that. So before we talk about this match, I just want to talk about the setup for this match. Okay, so we start off. Before the match starts, we get a bunch of introductions from a bunch of celebrities that are helping out with the match. It was like Muhammad Ali or something like that was a referee. There was this one old there was a timekeeper in the match. All these celebrities were involved in this match somehow, to the match, that weren't in the match. There was a bunch of celebrities that were a part of the match but weren't in the match. There was a timekeeper, which timekeepers are good, but they're kind of they still use timekeepers, but they never announce. If you go back and watch WrestleMania and Wrestling Classic, watch the old school wrestling, you'll hear them say, this match is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. They'll have a time limit for the matches. They don't have those anymore, I guess, because WWE just kind of ends when they end. So yeah, but has a match ever gone past the time limit? I bet it has. I think it has before, and if it does, we'll have to talk about that match and see what will happen. So yeah, WrestleMania. So we talk about the main event. Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff, they came out first. Bagpipes entered, a bunch of bagpipe players came out, and then they come down to the ring. Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff, they came out with Cowboy Bob Orton, and the match itself. Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, they had a great. Everyone was booing them. It was awesome. Then Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. I said that right. Mr. T. You can see in the poster right here. Yeah, Hulk Hogan teamed up with Mr. T in this matchup. Yeah, Mr. T, he wasn't a wrestler, but he was protected by other wrestlers to make a good match. And the match itself. Oh yeah, Hulk Hogan and Mr. T were with Jimmy Snuka, by the way. Jimmy Snuka came out with them, just in their corner. The match itself was very insane. A bunch of stuff was happening. You're watching the main event, everyone's cheering. Whoa, a bunch of this happened. Oh, Hulk Hogan. Oh, Hulkamania's running wild. A bunch of stuff is happening. I'm like, jeez, a bunch of stuff is happening. Hulk Hogan and Mr. T end up winning, of course. Why would they not win? Why would the heels win in the first ever WrestleMania? Of course they win. But, they're on the freaking poster. But, yeah. The match was good. A lot of tag team. It was a really entertaining tag team match. And it's actually really surprising that the first WrestleMania main event was a tag team match. Tag team matches nowadays are, they're kind of hit or miss nowadays. On Raw, you'll see a 6-man tag match every week, which is really annoying. I hate 6-man tag matches if they're going to keep showing over and over and over again. A good example of a 6-man tag match, from current era, WrestleMania 29 had a good 6-man tag match with Sheamus, Big Show, Orton versus The Shield. That was pretty good. I liked that match. So, something like that, dude. Make a 6-man tag match, maybe a special occasion kind of thing, because it just gets boring and boring and boring every week. You have to see a stupid freaking tag match, and I don't want to see a tag match every week. I'm sorry, I don't want to see a 6-man tag match every week. I mean, unless the New Day are in it. But other than that, back to the match. Very good match. I mean, it was insane, very insane. The celebrity stuff, Muhammad Ali. Surprised Muhammad Ali. And actually, really don't know why Muhammad Ali even was the referee. Like, he literally had no point in the match other than to be the referee. I guess they just want to make it, Muhammad Ali's the referee. Yeah. Awesomeness. But, it just didn't seem like he needed to be the referee. I don't know why, but he did not need to be the referee. Like, if he wasn't the referee, the match would still been great. I mean, but he was referee. He had no point, and the timekeeper really had no point. They didn't need all these celebrities being a part of the match that weren't in the match. Which, it makes sense. He was in the match, all that stuff. But it just did not make sense for all these other people to be in the match, be involved in the match, because they didn't help with the story or anything that affected the match. So it didn't make sense to have them outside of the ring. Mr. T, let's talk about Mr. T for a second. He was great in this match. He was a great wrestler. He did get dominated a little bit by Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. And he actually had a rivalry with Roddy Piper setting up for WrestleMania 2 boxing match. And then be his last WrestleMania kind of match, I guess, until, I don't know, maybe his retirement match at WrestleMania 32. I doubt that will happen, though. Mr. T versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 32. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but Mr. T, great in the match. I mean, really good. He was really surprisingly good. And I mean, I know he's not a boxer, he's not an actor, but he's still good. Still very good in the match, and I really thank him for being in the main event with Hogan. And this is a good example of celebrity involvement with WWE, WWF. That was good. Because he was protected by the wrestlers, and it just worked out very well. I mean, Muhammad Ali didn't really have any point in the match, but yeah. Go to WrestleMania 11, or just go find an episode of Raw that has celebrity in it. It's just not that good. I mean, WrestleMania 11 main event was just terrible. They had so much celebrity involvement that was just crazy, and it just got really bad. I mean, WrestleMania 11 is considered one of the worst WrestleManias, if not the worst WrestleMania of all time. So, and I'll give you an example of how celebrity involvement shouldn't really be in WWE that much. Okay, take for example this latest episode of Raw. The Miz introduced Donnie Deutsch, who was having I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. Having a new show on USA, and right when he was introduced, he's like Donnie Deutsch, and he showed up. Just listen to the crowd. There's literally no pop for him at all. And nobody cares. Really, nobody cares at all. In fact, I bet nobody knows who he is. I mean, yeah, he's sending a show on USA, but we don't care about celebrities. We want to see some wrestling and storylines and all that stuff. That's why we buy the merchandise. That's why we come to the shows. We like wrestling. We like the product. We know it's fake, but it's still real to me. Damn it. Yes. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So it wasn't a good WrestleMania. Half and half. I mean, yeah, there was some match. David Sammartino and Brutus Beefcake went on too long for me. It just seemed like it could have been traded out with a different match, like the Nikolai Volkov Iron Sheik. That could have been traded out, maybe, possibly. I don't know. I just really liked that match for some reason. I mean, tag team matches. This is about the best WrestleMania for tag team matches. No, actually, no, never mind. I just thought of a better WrestleMania that has tag team matches. But I guess in 2-on-2 tag team matches, this was probably one of the best WrestleManias for tag team matches. 2 tag team matches, they were both really good, and I would say the first 3 matches were they didn't get off to a good start, that's for sure. And I didn't really like how something like Tito Santana didn't face Buddy Rose, King Kong Bunny, so Special Delivery Jones. I cannot say my word right. I mean, I have to write a script for this next time, but maybe I'm not. I just kind of like saying stuff. I've written some stuff down. King Kong Bunny and Special Delivery Jones should have had a longer match probably, because it just seemed like from the interviews it could have been it was going to be a great matchup. Once it was boom. Once the match started, it should have been boom. But no, that didn't happen. and we got a squash match. Ricky Steamboat, Matt Bourne, just a jobber squash. Not jobber. I wouldn't say jobber squash. Matt Bourne did have some momentum in the matchup, but Ricky Steamboat won, of course. And David San Martin and Bruce Fake again went on too long, but I mean it could have been traded out. Junkyard Dog versus Greg Valentine. Even if it was a count-out victory for Junkyard Dog, it was still a good match. Still a good match. Clyde Volkov, Iron Sheik, U.S. Express. I love that match, actually. I don't know why I love that match so much, but it was just so good. Then we had Andre the Giant versus Big John Studd. Boring match. Andre the Giant can wrestle. Nothing against him. And I would say I'm glad he didn't retire, but let's just think if Big John Studd actually did be Andre the Giant and he did retire, I wonder what would happen. Where would the storyline go? He probably would have been like, Andre the Giant walking away, I'm Andre the Giant walking away, goodbye. He shows up 8 days later. No, I'm just kidding. That's WWE storylines. We're in the WWF in this time. So yeah. Women's match. Was pretty good. Glad it was good before the main event, which is a good thing for WWF to do that. And yeah, main event was insane. Didn't need all the celebrities. Mr. T was fantastic in the matchup. And yeah, so there were some matches that were just two tag team matches that were good. A good women's matchup. Boring under the Giant matchup, of course. And yeah, so yeah, pretty good. Pretty good WrestleMania. I would rate it, out of 5 stars, what would I rate this WrestleMania? Probably, if it was half and half, I'd probably rate it 3 out of 5. Maybe 2.5 out of 5. Probably 2.5 out of 5. But yeah. So yeah, that is my WrestleMania 1 review, podcast retrospective, stuff like that. And yeah, WWF did a great show of what they could do, and yeah. But times could have been switched out. Hope you like this video, guys, and I will upload more videos in this coming week. You'll probably see maybe a top 10 video. My next podcast kind of review like this will be the Wrestling Classic, which is the next pay-per-view after WrestleMania. And yeah, you'll see a top 10 video, top 10 best wrestlers, something like that. Something like that you'll see. And yeah. So what else could be for this week? It'll be a top 10 video most likely. Wrestling Classic review, possibly Wrestling Classic review will be next Saturday, or next Friday, either one. But yeah, so yeah, pretty much yeah. So I will see you guys later. More content coming soon. Patrick Wrestling Entertainment out.